The corner, the corner, the corner.
Hey, welcome. Come on into Cousin Ed's Corner. This podcast is where you'll find real, authentic conversation, organic conversation, unscripted, unfiltered conversation, like you're on with your cousin. It's all about life. It's about finance. It's about spirituality. It's about love and everything in between. I'm your host, Cousin Ed. I'm excited to bring you along on this journey. So sit back and listen in as we dive into a wide range of topics. I have some diverse guests coming on with an array of thoughts and opinions. My goal is to create a space all for us to connect and communicate. It's not really about me. It's about the community as a whole. Let's enjoy it. Let's sit back. Let's think about our past. Let's move into our future. It's about
the corner, the corner, the corner. So no matter how you cut it or slice it, we're all here together. I'm just here to give you a piece of my heart, my mind, my soul, and my mentals. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another episode of Cousin Ed's Corner. The corner, the corner, the corner.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. What's going on, fam? What's going on, fam? It's your boy, Cousin Ed. Yes, indeed, Cousin Ed's Corner. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good day. All of those great greetings and pleasantries. Hello, hello, hello. So, it's early in the morning, and I wanted to try to get this show out as soon as possible for this. It's supposed to be Wind Down Wednesday, but for this Wednesday, yeah, I was going to say for this Wednesday, might just be considered another Corner Connect, where we just come together and talk. So, I don't know. Yeah, we'll see at the end of the show if it's still a Wind Down Wednesday. Hopefully you have a chance to have a great, you already had a great start of your week. Hopefully you can finish this week out strong. Or we can finish this week out strong. So much going on. But before I even go any further, I want to always thank each and every one of you for being a part of this show, being a part of the community, continue to help the community grow. If you are listening to this show and you do not follow us on all of the social media platforms, please be sure to go and follow us. Trying to push up these numbers to do some other things on these platforms. So be sure to follow us, subscribe to us, send a comment, send a like, whatever it is, do that on these platforms to help us out. Lastly, 762-333-2032, 762-333-2032. All right, we done with all that. This show is following up Monday's show. It's following up Monday's show. And I want to talk about grief a little bit. I want to talk about grief. The feelings behind grief. And a lot of people that I've seen lately online and talked to, this recent passing of Malcolm-Jamal Warner shook our community, has shaken our community, because many of us still are dealing with just finding out this information. So as I'm talking to people and even hearing people talk about him, everyone is talking about somebody like somebody they knew, personally knew. And in hearing all of these great things about this young man, I wanted to just talk about how it is for many of us having lost a loved one, having lost a relative, having lost a co-worker, having lost a friend, a long lifetime friend, right? Childhood, classmate, things like that, right? I myself, Cousin Ed, took a fondness to a certain news anchor here in the Atlanta area years ago, right? Jokingly in many ways, right? But just her personality was one of the biggest ways, right? And her passing shook me because it brought back the mortality of death, the mortality of life, and knowing that this person was in your life every day and now they're not here. And this was somebody I actually met her. I'm about to say never met. I met her a couple of occasions, talked to her, but never really knew her, right? But I felt like I knew her. And when that happened, I stopped watching the news because she wasn't there. Especially the local news. I watched national news, but I stopped watching the local news because she wasn't there. Some people may think that it's crazy. Some people may understand it. It's like a loved one and you cannot go back to that house because that person's not there anymore, right? As I was listening and talking to people about Malcolm-Jamal Warner, Theo, most of us cannot believe it because he's like a brother to us. He's like that cousin to us. He's like that friend to us. He's someone we saw grow up and mature, right? That love for him and that fondness for him. It's like a Ron Howard, right? From Opie, right? Andy Griffin's show. You see somebody grow up and come into a man, right? A lot of y'all may be too young for that reference right there. But you see somebody grow up and become into a young man and somebody you can relate to because they went through so many transformations throughout that process. It wasn't somebody that was introduced to you that was already a grown person. We saw him transition from a young boy, teenager, young adult to becoming a man, right? Then going on from there, think about this, right? I'm going through this right now with my son, right? Seeing him transition all of those points, and now my son is going for a corporate job, right? You see him getting into other things as a man, right? You see him start producing videos. You see him start having his own fun outside of Mr. Cosby, outside of his parents, right? You see him become himself and his evolution, right? So we could see that in ourselves. You could look in the mirror and see the evolution of where we are today and know that he is us, right? That's what makes it so hard, right? So I was talking to my son about this, and I was talking about Kobe and how Kobe death affected so many people, and seeing him, it's a little different for a lot of people like me, myself, my son, and many athletes. We could see Kobe in us, right? A lot of people can't see Kobe in them, right? An athlete, you can't see that in you because you didn't live that life. But some people who live that life can see that and be more attached to that person, right? If I was a tennis player, a pianist, or a debater, or somebody who went through that track of life, you can see it in yourself, and you'll understand. Sorry about that. I got all kind of alarms. That's how it's 4:00. So sorry. That's my morning alarm. But you can see that in yourself. You can see those things, right? So you can relate to those things, right? This one hit home because we could relate to this one because we saw the transition of a young person, not only a young boy, but a young man transitioning into being an adult. And then we all went through it around the same time, same age range, all of these things, right? And parents, they saw a kid that they wanted their kid to be in transit, all of those things that was going on, we all saw and felt. That's why the grief is so hard. That's why the grief is there. When we're dealing with grief that is our own grief, right? A family member, a loved one, somebody that you care about, that you see or you talk to, or you know some of their pains, you know some of their struggles, you know all of these things that they went through. You was able to be there with them and celebrate, the birthdays, you celebrated the graduations, you did all these things with them, and now they're not here. You can't pick up the phone, you can't call them, you can't touch them, you can't feel them, you can't. All of those things they're hard to deal with. So when we're all dealing with this right now today, of his grief. It's the grief of everything we've already been through, and grief of our family, and grief of our co-workers, and grief of our loved ones that we all feel in this. Even though we can't touch them, we can't touch him, it's the same grief. And we're all wondering, like, why am I feeling this way about somebody I don't know? Because we've dealt with this grief. We're dealing with this grief. We have people right now that lost their loved ones, lost their family members. They're dealing with the grief, and this brings it back. I just wanted to give some context to why we may be feeling this way. Why does it hurt so hard? A great thing about, it's not great, but one thing we can think about in all of this, for this young man, we can always go back and watch thousands of hours of footage, of memories, the smiles, the laughter, and everything else, right? Outside of the production, he's done so much just being himself. We could watch all of those. What I'm challenging each of us, is to start making those memories now with our loved ones, with our friends. Take the pictures. I was one always growing up. I love pictures. I ain't say I love photography. I love pictures. I love documenting life. And I want to say that I have pictures, that just random pictures of people smiling, people doing things. Document these things, because you don't know when you can't do it again. Actually, you cannot. Let me say that again. You cannot do it again, because that second, that moment, that minute, that day is gone, right? That day is gone. You can try to recreate it, but that moment is gone. So try to capture all the moments you can. We have cell phones nowadays, right? Try to capture all that we can in those memories. Call somebody, video call somebody, say, hey, I'm about to take a picture of us, smile, and capture that moment. Share it with others, so if something happens to your phone, something happens to you, somebody else has that memory as well. Document those moments. Document those memories. When I look back on the pictures that I have, and I have certain pictures around my room, this office that I'm in, and I look at these pictures, I can only put myself in that moment for a quick second. Those people are no longer here. I say, man, those memories. Document them. Yes. Hey fam, this is a wind down Wednesday, but I'm wound up. I'm about to get this day started. But I wanted to just let you know that grief is real. It's understandable. It's something we all go through. Please continue to check yourself, check on others, and how they're dealing with grief, how they're dealing with loss, how they're dealing with just living each and every day. Check on them. Life is not easy. It should be easy, but life is not easy. We lifing out here, right? It's your boy Cousin, and I love each and every one of y'all. Hey, if you need somebody to talk to, call me. Reach out to me, DM me, but one of those mediums. And I'm always here, right? This community is here. That's why we do what we do. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. I got a story for y'all on Friday, I think. I might tell y'all a story. Another story. I'm out of here. Peace.
Thank you for listening to Cousin Hands.